Yo, what up, people?
What up? What it
What's
do?
going on? What's going on? Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Who's the Master? Yet another episode in our series covering House of
Shut up.
Dragons, the great show on HBO. This is a penultimate episode directed by Claire Kilner, Greg Yantes, Yatanez, and Geeta Patel. Aired yesterday, and of course, we're going to be diving into it. We've got the crew in the house. We've got Ecclesi. What up, Ecclesi? How's it
What's
going?
going on? What's going on? Everything's going good. Undefeated. Let's get it.
Yo, Ecclesi got V sick. So V is not with us. V is currently in the midst of bad illness, and he's an old dude, so
Oh, how old are we talking?
it could be touch and go. We don't know,
70s,
right?
80s?
Yo,
He's
centuries. He's centuries
level.
old.
He's an adversaries level.
Yeah, he like the dude, but from Highlander, but older.
Jesus.
And so we
Cloud.
got a great feeling though. We got my boy Bobo down at the bottom from Brass Real Bros. Of course, Bobo and I have been doing some She-Hulk reviews. Mercifully,
God, that's over.
mercifully, that has ended. And I when talking to Bobo, I was like, "Yo, you've been on one of these post shows before, but yo, let's talk about some good TV." And so I decided to invite him back on, and he was gracious enough to join us.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're glad to have you as well. So let's go ahead and let's get this music kicking and let's get started up top and let's talk about this latest episode of House of Dragons. So we've decided on a new format, guys. We decided we're going to go over it bit by bit as far as the way we would do it. Who's the Master style, which means we're going to break it down by what was good, the bad, and the trash, and then maybe top it off with some theories and some general thoughts about the episode on some stuff we may have missed. So let's go ahead and get it kicking. Let's start off with the good.
Yeah,
E.
man.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
we'll let you start up. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on some of the things you liked about this episode. Give us your thoughts on some of the good.
Yeah, man, just to go ahead and get it started off, man, one of the things that stands out to me is going to be the score. I thought Ramji, whatever his name is, I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, but we all know who the guy is. He's a beast, man. And like even the intro, when you played the intro music, man, I just was looking around to make sure that I didn't have any lightning forming me like a DBZ character. I started powering up for the show. Yeah. He's a beast with it. I like how he's remixing a lot of the Game of Thrones things, but he's also Game of Thrones themes and also throwing his own little twist on it with the new one. So I definitely think that was that stood out more than anything else in the show to me was the score and the use of music. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought. Go ahead, Bob. I'll let you go next.
Well, not to keep talking over, but yeah, mine was the same as you, is that it was just perfect and stand out more than anything. And actually, I feel like, that in most movies, the score is kind of like one of the main characters. Like if the score is not working, then you can have even a good script not really feel right. But this show, just with the score, really gets you it grabs your insides and pulls you into what's going on with these characters. I love that. So I agree with you about everything.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, E.
It's funny that you say that because I'm going to bring up a movie that had a great score that I did not like the movie, but the score is classic. Do you guys remember Dragonheart?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
Danny Elfman, he killed that score, man. But yeah,
Great Danny
no, it wasn't Danny.
No.
It was Randy. I forget. It wasn't Danny Elfman. That's wrong.
Randy Edelman.
Yeah, Randy Edelman. Yeah, absolutely killed that score. But go ahead, yeah.
Yo, y'all remember back in the 80s, the score was, you had your main theme, and that was the music throughout the entire movie. Beverly Hills Cop, you just hear bum, bum,
Oh.
bum, 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 the entire time.
Harold
right?
Faltermeyer.
Young Guns, you hear the Young Guns theme over and over and over again
The
throughout
Last
the entire
Starfighter.
movie.
Last
Yeah.
Starfighter has one of the most underrated themes of all time. But
I
yeah,
can't say I know that one.
Yeah,
but I
it's
remember
so
the
weird
movie.
watching those older movies now, because
Right.
that's one of the first things I notice is that, man, there's no score. All you get is the theme music. And then some of the movies prior to that, you might not have a score at all,
The
Yeah,
Untouchables is another one where the score took that movie from here all the way to a whole nother level.
yeah.
I haven't watched that movie.
Benicio Maritoni, yeah.
That's a badass movie too, man. That's one of those ones. It's just like, okay, this one's going to be a classic forever, immediate classic.
So,
But getting off track.
yeah, it's interesting you talk about the score because that was there's a lot of great editorial choices made to kind of fit the pacing of this episode. This whole episode, the way it's paced, just kind of helps us ratchet up the tension. It starts out with this very tense moment where the king dies. And like I was telling Eve before the show, it almost feels like, well, you're watching somebody, a friend of yours, that's about to do something that you know is a huge mistake, and you know they're not going to listen to you, and you're just helpless to watch as the repercussions slowly start trickling in until you get to the main climax. And the way this episode was paced really just kind of put you on the edge of your seat and gave you that feeling. And that's another thing we put in the category of the good. So let's start off with you, Bobo, and give us some of your thoughts on the pacing this episode.
I thought it was definitely a little better paced than the last episode, but the last episode we were, just kind of watching the king suffer. We were watching him talking to the family and just sort of trying to get the family back together. And not to say that it was a bad episode, because it wasn't at all. Mm-hmm. But this one definitely, I felt like it was about to come to a head, and just that whole moment with the dragon popping out. Not that I was definitely waiting for something to happen in the show, but I definitely wasn't expecting that to happen in that moment. Like it surprised me fully. And now I expected it once it was happening. I'm like, of course, but it's one of those sort of like, ha, got your ass. I was just like, I was really into him, holding up the sword and him changing his character. It's like, you know what? I think I might be liking this king thing. And next,
yeah.
So like that really, I just like good movie making right there, show making right there, guys. And then the score. I mean, the score, I really don't mean to just keep riding off your coattails, Ecclesi, but it really was that good. It really, multiple times throughout, I'm just like, man, this moment is serious, but it's making me more into the moment because of this score. So that's kind of my major, just from right away, the takeaways I got from it.
And Bobo, you gave me another probably thing I want to add to the good category, but let's let you kind of
one thing that I liked about it reminds me, since we were talking about older movies earlier, when I went to college, an old movie they showed that I thought I wasn't going to like, I liked a lot, was North by Northwest. And this reminds me a lot of that style of film, to where it's just building and building and building. And the hero's not going to die. And we knew where it was going. We knew it was going to end with a coronation. You kind of knew. The previews kind of ruined it for you. But with them sending people out to get them, you got two factions. You got the twins going out to get them. Then you got Kristen the Cuck and Aemon going out to get them. Then you have her trying to do her thing with Rhaenys and work her thing. There was a lot of political intrigue that was going on. Yeah, it was almost like White Worm. Yeah, there were so many things. Aegon got kids now, I guess. And there's so many things going on that it almost felt like a spy movie in Game of Thrones. So it's kind of like showing the intricacies of like, hey, we have to move now. There was a race against time, and I like that they used that in that hour that they had. Hour and 9 minutes, I guess it was a little bit.
Yeah, that was the longest episode.
Yeah, that was a good catch with the Aegon. Of course, we see his two legitimate kids, and then we find out he's got a bastard. He's got a bastard son.
Which, by the way,
shouts to, by the way, Heavy Spoilers, who usually does the Robert Baratheon bastard imitation that I just bit off of. So I want to go ahead and give proper respect out to Heavy
Speaking
Spoilers.
of Robert Baratheon, when he got the sword, when Baba was talking about it earlier, I believe that was Robert Baratheon's theme that they played when he was feeling himself when he got coronated. That's just I'm not 100% sure, but it reminded me of it. But go ahead.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that was exactly what was going on.
Yeah. So, let's let you give us some more things you liked in this episode.
Another thing is like when I talked about the political intrigue, I kind of mentioned the twin brothers, Eric and Arik. That's their names, Erryk.
I like calling them Eric and Eric. I like the thought that it might be two twins with the same. That's like some lazy parent shit.
Hey,
what's the first kid's name? Eric. What's the second kid? Just call him Eric.
It's Eric and Arik. Hey, I got two older brothers who are twins, and their names are Derek and Eric. So not too far off. Not too far off, honestly. That's hilarious. But my parents ain't lazy on, so I don't appreciate that. But with that being said,
Mr. and Mrs. Green, I would never hate on y'all. Yeah, despite the fact that Aaron has some bad sides to him, I know it's not because of your parenting. You good parents.
They could have gave me the jump shot, bro. That's all I asked for. But with that being said, I like how it's showing the divide of, it's even going along family lines. Like when they were looking for Aegon, one brother's like, I hate that kid. He wouldn't be a good king. The other brother's like, hey, I like him. And then you see when he fights Kristen the Cuck, the divide is complete. And I kind of like that aspect of it. It's a small microcosm of what's to come with a lot of people who are doing it. And also in the beginning, where you had the lords, like, hey, the lords that were riding with him, Lord Westerling, Sir Westerling, is like, hey, he's like, I want you to go up to Dragonstone and kill Rhaenyra. He's like, I used to protect this. I grew up with this little girl. Took off his cloak. I'm not doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people taking sides, and I thought that was pretty cool how they did it on a small level.
Yeah, and hey, let me just to say one of the other things too that I was really liking is that I'm really interested in, and to piggyback on you talking about the suspense that they're building. That suspense they're building, while we got some payoff in this episode, that's some of that suspense is still rising. You know what I mean? And so we're waiting for that to even happen in next season after, or whatever. Things they're just building on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's up with Amon. But who knows with Game of Thrones, because just like anything else, that dude can get killed the next episode.
Yeah, you can call him Eye Patch if it makes you feel. If
or how about just Patch from Days of Our Lives? How about that?
Yeah.
Patch,
that's old school right there, man. You can tell we're all about the same age. You can tell,
exactly.
School when we were watching. But go ahead.
Hell yeah, with my grandma babysitting me.
Yo, I liked Eric versus Eric, man. I thought that actor killed it in those two roles. Yeah. And you're right. I like the division. And honestly, just kind of piggyback off that, the performances in general, once again, that's a standard for the show. I don't even know if I've seen a bad performance yet in the show. Performances are all on fire.
Well, you see every cent of, because it's 15 million an episode, and you see every cent of it on the screen. And what I like is that they're not spending it on flashy stuff. They're spending on making you believe that this is real. Like you believe everything you're seeing, including the acting. You know?
Yeah, I agree. What were some of your standout performances besides the two twins? Because we know, don't you have two pairs of twins in your family?
Yeah, I have two twins. I have a brother and sister who are twins, and I have two brothers who are twins.
Good God.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
No wonder he liked the twins.
And this is before, fertility drugs and stuff like that. So, that's
all natural.
That's the real deal right there. But,
the real
deal. but with that being said, man, I think Otto Hightower, I think he gave a great performance. But I think Lars Tarantino and Allison Ansel's, his muse, she gave a great performance too. So that's just how we go from there.
Yo, we got V piping in Days of Our Lives references. You guys really are old. Careful, V. You are on your deathbed. All right.
Yeah. The only reason you're responding to that, V, is because you got that too.
Hey, congratulations to our boy V. He figured out how to work a computer. He figured out how to log on by himself. He figured out how to type that message on his own. Congratulations, V. I know you probably have one of your grandkids do it for you, but
Oh man,
we'll call you
this ninja star you're throwing right now.
Yeah, he's chopping them up right now.
But yeah, thanks for hopping on, V. We know you're dying. And,
what up,
we
V?
appreciate you. We appreciate you spending your last moments with us. Another thing I'm going to add to the good that you guys brought it up, and I can't believe we didn't bring it up in our pre-show. Yeah, the coronation scene. Apart from obviously the end, which was great until it wasn't, right? And we'll get more to that later. Just the coronation scene from the beginning to the end, the way they had everybody herd into that big area, the way it was done, you could tell they rushed it and they want to keep it on the DL because they're trying to make sure Rhaenyra doesn't find out, right? So, but I thought it was a really cool, really well done coronation scene. I'm trying to scratch my head and think of one in movies or TV that I've liked better than that coronation scene. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me out on that. Give me your thoughts on that coronation scene.
Are you just talking about when everybody's just running through the streets?
Right, with running through the streets all the way up until where they coronate him, where they have him walking the Isle of Swords.
No,
the Trumpeteers. Usually the coronation is done pretty much the same every time you see it. The trumpets are always standard, and everything else it's pretty much the same. But this one, they made it seem like a big event, I thought.
Yeah, where everybody walks through, and then make a hole, and then the guards put their swords up. And...
You have the big focus on the audience rushing in to see the coronation. It makes it seem more epic, like more of an event, more of a historical event, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I can't say that I was thinking to myself, man, they're doing a good job on this coronation scene right now. But I was
they play with your emotions a lot in the coronation scene. At first, Otto, you can see how proud he was. He's like, the king died, but this is a great day because his last wish is to have, my grandson in charge. And then, when he gets coronated, one person, and then, when he first says that, a quarter of the people clap, no one else says anything.
Yeah.
Then when they put the crown on him, one or two people clap, and everyone starts clapping. Then he starts feeling himself, So they played with your emotions a lot in that scene too. So I thought that was pretty cool as well.
And you could tell that Allison was nervous as hell. The whole time she was on eggshells. What is he about to do?
Yeah.
You just reminded me of something. Another good thing about the show was Allison finally stood up to Otto. For the
Oh,
first time
yeah.
in her life.
You're
She
right.
did. She was
and
like,
she
"Hey,
rolls her
look."
eyes at him.
She said,
But
"See,
here's-
Kristen's going to be the Lord, the Lord Commander. Aegon's going to be the king, and you're not going to do what you want to do." Now, of course, she went back to her son in the carriage, like, "Hey, your grandfather's going to try to get you to do this." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
just-
I didn't do anything, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you know he's not gonna listen to her. By the way, I love how she's trying to like have him do the right thing, but this dude ain't gonna do the right thing.
Hey.
So which
he
is
was
making
just
me
in a whorehouse.
Which is
Anto,
making me
you love
wonder.
everything that she tries to do. And now that Vince is in the comments, I know Vince can back me up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How am I loving what she tried to do? I just told you she's doing something stupid. He ain't
You
gonna
just
do
love
anything
her,
right.
bro. You just love her. Just admit it, man.
I think he's transferring here. I think he's
So you
transferring.
know how they make you love and hate every character, right? Like
Uh-huh.
every character, they'll show you for a moment a side of them to be like, you know what, maybe I like this dude or girl, and then they'll do something and be like, fuck them. I'm hoping that Aemon turns out to be like a little badass, a little Jon Snow type or something. I hope that he's like the opposite of what Aegon is. I'm hoping.
A Jon Snow type.
Yeah,
I-
he's
in
not,
the
he's not gonna be
sense-
Jon Snow type. He's gonna,
Don't not directly. I'm just saying like he's going to be more of a person that actually does a lot of good. Like he might actually become like one of their front linemen. Or I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
know
I'm
Jon
hoping.
Snow.
Alright.
Look, we don't talk Jon Snow on this show. You know what I'm saying, man? Didn't I
No,
just
we're
tell
not.
you
all right,
that I watched
we should have thrown this up earlier. By the way, we are talking spoilers. I always forget to do this. I'm sorry,
You gotta
y'all.
get
So
that
hopefully
sound
you,
effect with it.
you
Then.
yeah, hopefully you fill this out. But spoiler alert: Aemon is not gonna be a good dude.
All right, well, I don't know.
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
give
know
you any
anything about
details,
the
but
book.
he's not gonna be a good dude. You know, he's
yeah.
probably still mad that you don't know how to say his name.
You know what? He's probably gonna be on the same level as Jon Snow. Put it that way.
Look, I didn't mean that like the hero of the show. I was just hoping that he was going to be opposite. But hey, I don't know the books though, so
I agree with you, Bobo. But Jon Snow wasn't the hero of the show. But let's move on, man. My blood's
my
starting to
God.
boil. My dog's starting to get
Okay,
upset with that.
so
We're
You're
not
taking me the right way here.
Ecclesi,
turning my words
we
around.
call him Grey Worm for a reason. He hates Jon Snow because Jon Snow killed his girl. So, mentioning Jon Snow, in Ecclesi's eyes, Jon Snow is no hero. He's a
Hey,
bastard.
No, he's not.
She was a
Bastard.
crazy. She was a crazy.
No, he's not.
bitch. What do you expect?
She saved his life like 3 or 4 times. And this dude kills her, man.
And then
Let's
she
go,
slaughtered
man.
thousands.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Hey,
All right, yeah,
it's his
man.
fault.
She's still the hottest girl that ever be on
It's
Game of
his
Thrones.
fault.
Though.
No, she's not the hottest girl in Game of Thrones. What's
No.
her name?
No.
From Fast and Furious. What's the girl from Fast and Furious?
No, Masande.
Yeah, Masande is the
Yeah,
baddest
Masande is the
one.
hottest. No,
way.
Masande is the best girl,
No way.
dude.
Did you watch The
No way.
Invitation?
I just saw it. I have a review for it on my channel.
So you think Amelia Clark's hotter than her?
I do personally. Not that I don't
Okay.
think that she's not
Yeah,
hot.
So,
Quick plug for the Brass Reel Bros.
Wait,
Go check
time
out
out,
the
wait.
review.
Answer, did he come on our channel and say Masande is not that hot?
I said not that I said not that I don't think that she's hot because she is.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
No,
it's
No,
okay,
no, she is.
wait, we're just
I
messing
even
with
talk about how beautiful she is in my review.
Yeah, we are some Masande sips. That's for sure on
Okay.
this on this channel. We do simp for some Masande. Amelia Clark or Emmanuel. What's her name? Emmanuel.
Amelia Clark.
Amelia
Oh,
Clark.
Emmanuel, whatever her name is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, I would know your name majority of the time, but today I'm blanking on it. But yeah, we definitely some sims for her.
Man. Oh, Manuel.
Hey, Anto, who plays Allison? What's her name?
Well, this one is
Olivia
Olivia Cook.
Cook. Yeah, I almost said Olivia Wilde.
I'll just messing with you.
I don't know. I don't know the first one though. I tell you what, Olivia Cook was good though in Bates Motel. That was actually underrated show.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah.
It's underrated.
The only thing I've
Sure.
seen her in is that god awful freaking the movie that Aaron loves, that
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. God,
That's a good movie, dude.
it's, not,
I thought it
it's
was
got
good,
one
too.
great scene. I did not like that movie.
The Shining scene.
Yeah.
Ancho and I are definitely like we agree on like 30% stuff. Everything else we disagree on. But I love that.
The Shining scene was great. I thought the Shining scene was great. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's move on here. Hit us up with our next segment and what we're going to talk about, because we talked
We're
about
gonna
something
talk
good.
we're gonna talk about the bad in the show, and there really wasn't too much bad in the show. Of course, I'm gonna kick it off with the he might as well be the mascot of House of Dragon for Who's the Master, and that's gonna be Kristen the Cuck. How the hell does Kristen the Cuck get in the meeting, slam a lord's head into a plate and kill him, live, pull the
Threaten
sword
his
out on
superior.
pull the sword out on the Lord Commander and live, and then take it from there? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man. Have you ever seen a dude like we've all got these dudes that we know they get screwed over by one girl and they just won't stop being an asshole
Well,
afterwards.
but hey, and then you just said it right there. Remember when Allison's asking him to go look for Aegon, and she's like, "All your feelings towards me as your queen." You know, she like pauses for a second, and it's like you can tell like they obviously have they've smashed before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Allison and Kristen, well, it's hinted because she does say your feelings for me. She does
That's what I
mention
just
her.
said. She was
No,
like,
no, no,
"Your
no, no.
feelings
I
for
don't-
me,"
I
and
don't-
then
I
she
don't
says,
think
"As your queen."
Yeah, I was about
think-
to say, but it's hinted, but we don't know if they actually got physical or if she just knows that he's
Why
got
else
feelings.
would he be so protective of
Because
her?
he's
I
a
think
cunt, though.
that's why. I think that's why he's so protective of her. I think that's why he's because he hasn't smashed. Because Rhaenyra let him smash, and that ruined everything, and that ruined his oath. But I think he likes being that dude to be where it's like going to a strip club. Some dudes like going to a strip club for the temptation. I think he likes the temptation and the fact that she tells him no. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's why he started Kristen the Cuck. He's just one of those dudes that likes to be tortured and see other people live life and and stuff like that. That's what I think.
Well, at least he learned his lesson and didn't try to tempt her by offering her fresh oranges. This dude.
Cinnamon, oranges, and
Yeah,
cinnamon.
he's
don't
like,
forget.
yeah. Would you like? You could be queen.
You can
or,
leave all this.
or-
you
yeah.
don't have oranges and cinnamon.
Orange and cinnamon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
Cisco
Yeah,
album.
I didn't like
And the-
Christian the Cuck either, which we're definitely going to be calling him. I'm going to be calling him that for sure now since you said it so many times. But I also agree with you is my only true complaint, because that's one of those ones. It's like, for real, why is he able to get away with it? But my main one to where I was just kind of like, oh, this is about to happen, just like the Red Wedding, or like when you see Ned Stark die at the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones. I was like, is she about to burn all these motherfuckers? And then it's like, damn, she didn't. But then obviously I realized it would have whacked things out for the story that they've got planned. But I really wanted to see that happen.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. That's gonna be a little bit later on. You know what I'm saying, in the next segment. So we'll dig a little bit deeper in that. But I will say this: the Aegon being the king and just being a baby and drunk, whatever he is, I just don't like. I know his character's like that in the book, but there's something about how they brought. And don't get me wrong, the acting was great. He did what he was asked to do, but there's something about how that character was brought to life in this episode. Then it was just bad to me. I was just like, well, this dude, let's run across the street, bro. Why does everyone want to run across the narrow sea in this damn country? You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. Then you got people from the other country who want to come over there. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
I think one of the reasons it's not working as well is because you're not identifying with the same character the entire time, because they've switched him now so many times.
Yeah, I
mean,
do think about that. As much as I love, and I'm going to come back to a couple of things that we want to talk about some of the stuff you mentioned, but as much as I loved I really loved the first two actresses that played Allison and
I did too.
Rhaenyra, and I would have loved to see them get 10 years to grow into their roles and portray the older versions, because I mean, listen, nothing against these two actresses, they're good, but those other two just were better for these roles, in my opinion.
I think Olivia Cook is better than the original Allison, personally. That's just me. But I think Lily Alcott is better in that regard. But you know what? Here's the problem. I don't have that problem with Aemon.
Yeah.
For me, it's because I like this Aemon the best.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is, because I kind of like the way that other Aegon looked. For some reason, that when he had the long hair and he was jerking off outside the window and stuff, for some reason I like that guy's look, and then this newer guy, not that he looks bad or anything, but it's just they don't look enough alike to me.
Yeah, they don't. I keep thinking that younger Aegon was taller for some reason. He looked taller to me.
He looked like Finn Wolfhard, blonde hair, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. A blonde Finn Wolfhard for sure.
Yeah. Just going back to the scene where Kristen the Cuck kills somebody, and I'm trying to think of his name right now.
Smashes the ball into his temple or ear or whatever.
Yeah, Lord Bresby.
Wherever it went.
He kills Lord Bresby, who's trying to stand up for Rhaenyra. And by the way, this is the Green Council that's going on. Obviously, he was not part of the Green Council because he was trying to do the right thing, but he got snuffed by Sir Kristen the Cuck. We see Harold Westerling stand up and kind of make a stand and say, hey, listen, I'm not taking part of this. And he resigns. As the head of the and he's definitely got some shades of Barristan Selmy. Now that is a difference from the book, because in the book Harold Westerling dies years before King Viserys dies. So we'll see. There's going to be some, maybe that's going to have some payoff. We all probably know where he's headed after this, right? Because he burned his bridge with the Greens.
And he's the first person we meet outside of Rhaenyra, right? In the story.
Yep.
When she flies back from the dragon, he's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be flying this dragon. You're going to get me in trouble if something happens to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he grew up with that little girl, and he's like, go up there and kill her. He's like, nah, you know, I take orders from the king. There's no king, you know, when the king comes. But we all know that he's riding up to, we know he's going to go up to where Rhaenyra is, you know what I'm saying?
And that is definitely a plot hole, because how are you not, if he left, unless he's in prison, we find out he's in prison later, which would make sense. If he left, they do their best to lock up the kingdom so Rhaenyra doesn't find out. But are they going to let him just walk out?
I think he would be harder to take advantage of, because those soldiers are loyal to him. So it'd be hard for them to kill him and keep the secret. You know what I'm saying? I think it would get out to the city, and you know, it'd be a lot of other. It's just a smart move. Just let him walk away and just kind of do it.
She said you're only as powerful as the people. Like as what did she say? You're only as powerful as the people give you, or
no, there is no power, but what the people allow you to take. That's from Masira.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, that's Masira was great.
I'm a quotesman.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about, Bobo, in our first review, is that the first couple episodes didn't have those same killer lines that the original series had. They still don't. I mean, listen, George R. R. Martin's just a better writer than these people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's given us some memorable lines. They're not on the level of Game of Thrones, but there's some memorable ones, right? So,
hey, and look, I definitely would prefer the memorable lines and the memorable kills, but at least we're getting the memorable kills.
Yeah.
Dude, in last episode, old boy getting shot. Dude, what a surprise kill by Damon, just it's town.
That was a great moment. Oh my God, yeah.
I know y'all talked about that, but I just had to mention it since I wasn't on last week.
Yeah, and we get some kills in this episode. Another person we see gets snuffed. R.I.P. Lord Caswell.
Yeah.
He gets hung.
Yeah, and
it's a little bit different from the books, but
So, you've read the books as well?
No, I've read it. It's the book is not. It's not like in detail. It's kind of like a timeline. It's almost like written historically, and I've researched it, but I haven't read it. So. But we're getting a little off topic. That's my bad. Going back to some of the bad. Aaron, you touched on this a little bit earlier. But Aegon is just a biatch.
He's a baby, man.
God damn, man.
He got some daddy issues.
Listen,
I don't know.
Listen, nobody endorses beating kids. Okay? Not on this podcast, anyway. Maybe on Brass Real Bros, but not on this podcast. But
don't put that suggestive shit out there.
But if there was a kid where you'd be like, listen, I don't support you beating your kids, but like Chris Rock said, I understand, that would be Aegon. Aegon is just biatch, and we see him trying to run from his responsibility. The whole episode is basically built on the Where's Waldo premise with Aegon, right? Like,
of course.
Viserys dies, and they're looking for Aegon. They're literally got to search. People breaking out their magnifying glasses, searching for Aegon, and we end up finding him later. He talked to me a little bit about what bothered you about Aegon. I know you touched on this a little bit, so let's let you kind of give some more detail.
He's just a baby, man. Like, it's how the script's written, He just seems like he's just unloved. He's not... his whole character is just... He doesn't have a character. He has no character. He has no moral. He has no foundation. He's just there. And I know they wrote him to just be there, but for him to, get put in this situation and, knowing where the story goes and things of that nature, just how they have the setup for him, it doesn't seem like a natural growth of someone that would be in his shoes, It's almost like they downplay his character to build up Aemon's character. I'm not 100% sure if that's what they're doing, but, something's going on behind the scenes. They're in that think tank, they're thinking of something, so I don't know.
Yeah, they try to make you feel sorry for him. And because, in the carriage, he's like, no, but my dad didn't want this, and I didn't want this, and nobody loves me. And then he even looks at his mom and is like, do you even love me? Yeah. And she doesn't say yes. She makes a joke out of it. She's like, I couldn't catch exactly what she said.
She said, you're an imbecile.
Yeah, like...
But she looked at him with the motherly, loving eyes, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, why are you asking me this?
No, but she didn't say yes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nobody likes you. We don't like you either.
Okay, let me answer me this, though. So, the whole thing with Sirius saying, I saw the dream, Aegon was king in the dream. So, that's why they want it, right? As far as why they're getting convincing people. But Otto and Alicent have wanted this from the beginning of the show. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is that even though he was wishing that right towards the end, but now that she's wanting it to happen and it's really Otto, I guess what's the whole thing with their real intention and Otto's intention. Like,
I'm glad
why
you
do
bring
they
that
why do they want him to be king? They know he's a piece of shit kid. Why do they want it so bad for him?
Well, they want it
Because Otto would be king. It's like Tywin.
so
It's like
they want it
Tywin
for
would.
yeah.
It's like Tywin and Joffrey. When Joffrey was king, but Tywin was like, "Hey, you're tired. You need to go to sleep." You know what I'm saying? And then he sends him to sleep.
Yeah, when he comes in to
power-
see the king and he has his horse just shot right on the way there. You know, he didn't give a damn that Joffrey was king because he knew he was really king. Same thing.
So part of her standing up to Otto was her finally realizing, like, you just been all wanting this shit for yourself too, this whole time. Is that kind of part of why she was standing up?
She got the seed planted. Rhaenys planted a seed in her, like, hey, look, everything you're doing for the men around you, for your dad, for your son,
Right, you
for
still work
Viserys.
for all the men.
Did you never want to be on the throne? Have you never wanted anything for yourself? And then, you know, she's in too deep to where she can just branch off and do her own thing now. But then she wanted this. To me, that was her trying to gather some control back in her life, or of the situation, to where she had no control whatsoever. She was just being a pawn on the chessboard. So she wanted to, you know, stop being a pawn and become a rook, I guess, because she ain't getting too high on that board.
Yeah, let's touch on that scene, but I want to kind of wrap up the bad, because one thing that almost went in the bad category is the beginning, when I thought they were going to try to make it to where this whole war happened on a miscommunication. When Alicent goes to Otto and says, "Hey, listen," because she misunderstands. Viserys told me on his deathbed he wants Aegon to be king, and I was like, they are not going to make us think that this whole war happened because of miscommunication. They saved it, though, when we find out Otto didn't give a damn he was going to do this no matter what, right? This is just now a convenient excuse, right?
Yeah, it was an excuse. I think it was an excuse for her, too. I think she knows. Look, she had him drugged up his whole time. She even said something last episode about him being incoherent and stuff like that. It was an excuse for her, too. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
he's in so much pain, we have to keep him this way.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I think you're right. It is an excuse for her, but she always tries to justify her actions.
Yeah.
Whereas Otto is like, no, I know I'm doing this for selfish reasons. Her mind, she can't take being the bad guy, so she tries to justify. She has to have justifications for her own sanity, right? Whereas Otto's just like, no, I'm doing this for my selfish reasons.
You got to put Vince's comment up there because that's funny.
What did he say?
He said the creepiest foot fetish scene ever.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to what we call him, Lawrence Tarantino, Sir Lawrence Tarantino, because that's the first thing. How can you watch a foot fetish scene or a scene with feet in it and not think of Quentin Tarantino?
I'm the foot fucking master. Got my technique down and everything.
Yeah. That'll be tickling to nothing.
Yeah. Aaron trying to get us demonetized with his language.
Hey, whatever. This is the first time I cussed in like whatever episode. I don't.
Hey, you just got to submit the right rating. That's all.
Yeah. But no, that was definitely that was an interesting scene. But I thought it worked from the standpoint of we know now who's got the power in that relationship, right?
Yeah.
We kind of knew at the beginning because he had some blackmail on her, but now we know how much power he has on her. That this woman who's the queen is forced to denigrate herself while this guy pleases himself, which is hilarious. And she's powerless. She can't do anything about it. That crown that she has might as well just be made of paper, you know?
So am I missing that? Am I missing that's like an arrangement? He gets to do that while she pulls her feet out. Like that's their deal.
Dude, he holds out and gives her information. Like he's like, I got some information. He just sits there, he's waiting, and then she's like, all right, let me take off my shoes.
Yeah. He basically is controlling that relationship. He basically has all the power. The power dynamic, like Ansha said, got revealed. He like you said, little by little. I don't know who told her that. Oh, you're taking your stockings off? Okay, so this person told me that. And then even at the end, it's cemented. He's like, well, we can do this, and I can, solve this problem for you if you want me to. And she doesn't even have to say anything. You know what I'm saying? Because he already can kind of read where she wants to go, but it kind of was a plausible deniability. You know what I'm saying? Where she's not officially giving the order, but she's giving the order. You know what I'm saying? But it's really him coaxing her into the order. So he's definitely the hand that steers that ship.
Slimy.
Yeah. One thing we missed on the good, or maybe it was good for me, maybe you guys didn't like it, but I thought it was a strong scene, was the scene between Rhaenyra and Alicent.
They're like
because it points out her hypocrisy, right? And she even starts it out by saying, hey, listen, she tries to get on her level by saying, we both know you should have been queen. But then she immediately proves how little she understands about that very message when she mentions how the women need to stay by the side of the kings. And that's where she loses Rhaenyra, because Rhaenyra's like, you don't get it. Yeah, I should have been queen, which means I should have been in charge, not answering to a man. Like, you're just still a little girl at the end of the day who thinks she knows what's up, but she doesn't. Even though Ramirez does get some respect for her by saying, "Hey, listen, you're a lot." What did she say? You're a lot more knowledgeable or whatever.
Yeah, you're smart. She basically told her she's smarter than what she thought she was.
Yeah,
in that regard. But
which is kind of backhanded compliment, but
that scene I think was a good scene between those two, acting wise and drama wise. But then again, it's just one of those confusing scenes because it's just like, look. They locked you in your room. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they're plotting against you. You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on. You know how this is going. And then, I don't know, man. Some of these things, I just feel as though the writers just like, shit, what can we do? Okay, let's do this real quick and just type things out. That's just
well, it does lead into our next point. But before we get to the next point, let's go ahead and get your thoughts on that scene, Bobo.
What scene specifically? Just her
the Ramirez and Allison talking in her bedroom.
Yeah, no, I mean, I liked it, and then for a second there, I thought, she was about to almost be like, you know what, I see where you're coming from, Allison, but then instead she just mans up or womans up and just like, no, but you're still working for the dudes.
Yeah.
You're just still climbing for them, and I like that, and I honestly did not like her character the first few times I saw her in the first few episodes, and now I really like her. So that's
really
just a test. I like watching her character on the show because now I feel like, oh, she's got this damn dragon, she got some power, but and just the way she's been standing up to the family, I just didn't think that that's what her character was going to be like at all when I first saw her in the show. So I love that Game of Thrones or House of Dragon does that. They who you think you're going to be focusing on, next thing you know, it's like, no, we were actually just giving you some shit with them for a little while because I thought we were going to be focusing on Daemon a lot more, and maybe we will in other seasons, but we're really focusing on her a lot, Yeah.
That was the end of the bad for me too, was no Daemon and no Rhaenyra in this episode. Even though I understand why they did it, everything took place in a specific location and they're in a different location. You still feel as though the show misses a little something without those two in there, just because how dynamic the characters are.
For sure. Yeah. Especially when he walks on screen and he just looks at the camera with that every look he does, you're just like, Daemon.
Yeah. Yeah, they've become such a big part of the story for you that you realize when they're not around and you miss them, even though you understand, like you said, we totally understand why the choice was made to not have them in this episode, and it's a smart choice, but we've just been so focused on them that it feels weird. It feels like you're missing something, a piece of the puzzle when they're not there. So speaking of the scene between Rhaenys and Alicent, the reason they did that scene is to plant a seed for something that happens at the very end. Now, we thought the coronation scene was good, and another part that was really good that we would put in the category of the good would be the scene where Rhaenys gets to her dragon and crashes through the bottom. The beast beneath the boards. A lot of people think that's what the payoff is, although some people are saying that the payoff is still yet to come.
I'm in that group. I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I am as well.
Yeah, I think I am now as well. But epic scene, Rhaenys, crashes the coronation. She crashes the coronation from the bottom and kills a bunch of innocent people, but oh well. And then has a boss moment with the dragon, but then it takes a left turn and it really asks us to suspend our disbelief, and they really want to pay off the scene between Rhaenys and Alicent, but it doesn't pay it off. And for us, we put this in the category of the trash.
Yes.
You had some strong feelings about this.
Yes,
you had some strong feelings about the logic with this. Let's let you kick it off.
All right, perfect, man. So like you said, the coronation scene's badass. Everything's going good. She burst through the wall. You know what I'm saying? She switched into her, Final Fantasy 7, armor and all of this stuff. She's looking all cool. Like, it's going down. And then, all she had to do was turn around and fly away like, hey, this is just my escape. But no, what the writers decided to do is have her stare down every single villain or every single person that she would have a future problem with. Could have just said Jakaris and ended the whole thing. Now I know they have to have the show, but she just lets the dragon roar at them like they've never seen a dragon before. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have the biggest dragon, and fly away. There's no reason that anyone can explain to me that would be logical at all to why she didn't burn all those people right there. Especially when you see the preview to the next episode. I think it was horrible writing. I think it was fan service. I think it was Vince will love this. I think it was service for women. Hey, I just see some of our viewers just went down during my rant right here, so they may have been women. But hey, that's exactly what happened right there, and that's how I feel. So go ahead.
Hey, the thoughts of Khaleesi, female soldiers out there. He's been
liked it.
unveiled
There's
as being. Yeah, as soon as you quit talking, the viewers go back up. So yeah, the women ain't riding with you. I think Vince exposed this in the Samurai Showdown that you lost epically a while back.
That was
you can
specifically
view on our
black
channel.
Yeah. And I won that, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yo, Bobo, let's let you get your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm kind of the same as Aaron. I really thought that it should have. I was surprised the dragon's out. And I'm like, oh snap, what's about to happen? And because I don't know the books, so the same way when I saw Ned Stark get his head chopped off, I was just like, but I thought he was the mate, And then so like for me, if they would have just annihilated those mofo's, dude, I would have been running up and down my apartment complex, and I would have been, did you guys just see this? But they didn't do it, so I felt like that. And again, like you just said, I understand they have the show, and I could see that that's not going to happen. But we also have the episode of the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones where they kill off a ton of significant people. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it could have been a possibility.
Yeah, this does go against the grain for what the show typically is. I agree with you because it is a badass moment, but at the same time, it's so illogical. Like there's logic there, but it's so loose. Yeah. That's not the type of writing I expect from the show. Other shows, this is a network TV show. I would love this moment because you know what you expect. Faulty logic. If this was She-Hulk, this moment wouldn't have existed, right? They would have done some stupid, fourth wall joke.
Well, and maybe they were getting.
They would have Kevin Feige come in and rescue them or something, yeah.
Or Kevin, the robot
Kevin, exactly.
Maybe it was one of those things to where it's like, look, we got to stretch this out. We signed up for 10 episodes, so let's fill some of these out with this or whatever. I don't know, because they could have just made 9 episodes, because it looks like the next episode is going to be pretty much a battle episode, right? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, we know. Let's call it for what it was, man. This was the little girl stabbing the giant in the eye with the and you know what I'm saying, at the long night. This was I'm not gonna say girl power moment. This is a fan service moment. So even if it was an old man and they did it, they may have done the same thing. But this was just let's give this character their moment to shine with the dragon, and let's show off our special effects, and let's just do this for shock value. But it had no viable storytelling.
Like maybe they could have had Aemon's dragon flying over and
you're right.
And Rhaenys knows, hey, listen, if I kill them, that dragon's gonna kill me, and I don't want to do that.
You know what? That's a great explanation right there, Alex. Right there. Boom, boom. Problem solved.
Exactly. That's all you had to do, right?
Write the logic in there, yeah.
And they didn't do it, and that's sad because that moment up until that roar was awesome, and she looked like a badass on that dragon.
Yeah,
and she's not like making it. What I liked is she wasn't like over expression faces or anything. She was just kind of like,
very placid. Yeah, you're right. Just like a boss. Like, I have the power. I know I have the power. It's not even a question to me that I have the power.
Yeah, and you know I have it. Yeah, it's one of those things. And the thing that kind of takes it away is that she's doing it to other Targaryens. If it was just the Hightowers, it'd be completely different. But then, these other people, they got dragons, so it's just like, it kind of takes away the roar. I mean, I understand they're still scared, like, this dragon could burn me right now. But
in that moment, she definitely made some of them shit their pants, so that's good.
Oh,
Even if their dragons weren't there, you know what I'm saying? So hers was.
Yeah, I mean,
which is interesting because as soon as that threat happened, if we're to believe Game of Thrones lore of what they gave us later on, like Drogon miraculously appeared up, saying whenever anything was about to happen to Daenerys, Drogon was there, saying. So you would think those other dragons would,
another way they could have solved this is just have Alicent send the knight and have her know that Alicent sent the knight to get her out of her imprisonment, because she feels bad for her after their conversation. And so then, as a thank you, hey, listen, next time we meet, we're gonna be enemies, but as a thank you, I'm gonna spare your life this time. I'm not gonna kill you. That would have been another way to do the logic.
It would have made your girl Alicent look better too. So
I can't tell if she's got a good.
That's actually a good point though. So that's actually a good storyline right there. I gotta actually give you. You had 2 pretty good ones, man.
That's what I do here on Who's the Master.
What the hell's going on right now? But good stuff.
Temperature must be dropping outside.
It is dropping.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be getting like 40, 30s. They said.
Oh, really?
Tonight.
It's the time for Halloween, man. Halloween's one of those holidays here in Texas where it's either really cold or really hot, and we're about to lose some viewers because nobody cares about that. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to some potential theories. Now, we know it's weird talking Game of Thrones theories because we got the books, but they have changed a lot of stuff up. For example, we've had people die in different ways. In this episode alone, we had Lord Caswell and somebody else died. Westerling is still alive. Also, a couple of differences. Brisby, yes, thank you. That's the name I was looking for. Another change is in the books. When they find Aegon, he's doing the naughty with a minor, a girl that they say is probably no older than 12. Now I understand why you would change that for this episode.
But it does elevate the evil side of his character more if you have that in there.
Sure, yeah. Well, they do show his bastard, right? And they do show the fight pit, so that's a change. Apparently, in the book, they do show him with a couple of kids fighting it out, where he's kind of, file down their nails and their teeth for his enjoyment. But they kind of show that on a grander scale with those fight pits. So they accomplished a little bit of that. But there have been some major changes, and so it makes it necessary to maybe do a little theory crafting. What are some of your thoughts on some of the theories that this sets up for upcoming episodes?
I mean, the only theory I really don't know. After what they did with Rhaenys, man, to be honest with you, either they're going to make some serious changes, like Laenor, he supposedly was supposed to die, we saw that he escaped with his dude across the Narrow Sea. So I would say that one theory that I think is going to change is how they're going to do the way people die. Like, for instance, I think the next episode is going to go in line with the books. But I don't think we're getting it next year. I don't think they have a setup to get it next year. I think it's going to be 2 years before we get season 2. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to start playing with the timeline, and they're going to play. They're gauging us right now, and they're just going to change the way that people pass away, the order in the order that people pass away. So I think that a lot of things that we thought were going to happen, I just think it opened everything up. Just put it that way. I don't have any specific theories, but I think that they opened everything up. Besides the blood and cheese, theory, I think that's going to happen.
Just real quick, I think, and I heard this on Talking Thrones, so I don't know if it's official, but usually they're pretty good. I think they've been confirmed now for 3 seasons.
Yeah. So. Okay.
I saw 4 seasons, but maybe 3.
Okay. You might be 4. You might be right. I think it was 4. Actually, you're right. I apologize. 4 seasons. So, Bobo, you haven't read the book, so let's get your thoughts on some theories that you think are out there.
Well, I definitely, I think it's clear that Otto at this point is becoming sort of like the main villain, at least for the audience.
Guy, he's so smug.
Yeah.
I can't wait till that guy dies. But the actor's doing a phenomenal job, by the way. But I still can't wait till he dies.
Dude, yeah. Why am I drawing a blank on his Reese Evans?
Yes.
Yeah, or Iffens. Reese Evans.
Yeah, Reese Evans.
Yeah. He's there was a lizard in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely am curious to see what he's going to pull out, but I don't know if I have enough to base any theories off of. I do think that there is going to be some sort of a separation between Alicent and Otto at some point. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that she's going to be fully like, you know what? Fuck you. I think that inside of her, while she's shady in a lot of ways and she's swindly in a lot of ways, I do feel like that her internal good outweighs her internal bad. So I feel like at some point she's going to see what his true motives are, and she's going to be like, you know what, I'm over you.
I think it's going to be opposite. I think her delusion of her being in power is going to completely collapse in the next episode. And I think, the way they have her character written in the book and the way the book ends, I think we're going to see it to where she's going to feel like she's now riding the dragon or riding the tiger and she can't get off. She's now made her bed and she can't sit in it, but now her illusion of her being in the right is going to be completely shattered. And so it's going to make her more of a tragic figure in that regard, because now she's going to realize, okay, well, I got to go through with this, but now she knows that she effed up, right? So I think that's where I think they're going to go with that character in the last episode, or at least leading into next season. So any thoughts to wrap this up? Well, I guess we should wrap this up with our scores, huh?
Yeah.
Bobo, I don't know if you know how we do our scales. We rate everything 1 through 10. If it's 8 and above, it's got the glow. If it's 5, it's mid, and below 5, it's trash. So why don't you go ahead and give us your score?
For me, hey, all right. Yeah. For me, I mean, a lot of my friends dogging me and saying that I'm too easy to please on certain things, but I just think this show's really well done. So I feel like this had the glow, man.
All right, nice, the glow. I know you had some problems with the ending. But
it got
that
to go.
changes
I didn't
thoughts.
say it was
This
perfect.
was an 8 episode. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't say it was perfect by any means because there's some things that we already talked about. But as far as like what they're doing, the effort that's put into it, and the product that's being put out, I have to give it the plug.
I give it the glow too, man. Everything was good. Think about it. It's hour 9, the longest episode ever, and I'm complaining about what 30 seconds of it. Really,
Right.
even though it's a big complaint,
Yeah.
you know. So I got to give it. You know, I would have gave it a 9, but I'm gonna drop it down to about an 8, 8.5, somewhere around there. But it definitely had the glow. I would definitely recommend this episode to friends, and check it out. This episode has got me very excited for next Sunday. Extremely excited.
The next Sunday will probably be the first time I'll be watching it like as it's airing.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna give you more of the same. I'm just gonna be repeating what these said in front of me. I give this an 8 as well. I thought I had the glow. Yeah, the last 30 seconds were a major letdown just because I think they could have written better. But from the beginning of the show, this is 3 weeks in a row where they paced the show wonderfully, because the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is probably just going to be a blow-off episode, an episode to let us digest. And then by the end, they ratchet up perfectly to where it's incredibly tense, and it's not a blow-off episode as well. So they've done a great job.
Vince gives it a glow, but he gives it a 9.
One up in it.
Yeah. So Vince, in the past, has sung the episode. For those of you that are just joining us, he will sing the praises of an episode. We'll ask him for the score, and he'll give it a 6. Mind you, this man hated the Rise of Skywalker, gave that movie a 6, and he will go on and talk about how great an episode is and give it a 6. And now he hasn't given it a 9 at all up until this episode. So at least we're going the right direction, B.
So is he like? Yeah, that would have been funny if he would have been like 9 average.
Yeah. Old people get confused from time to time. Dementia is a real thing. So maybe this is going on here.
This Lexus coming in, that 9 should be a 6. It's upside down.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
They're ragging on you, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Bobo, I want to thank you for filling in.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was a blast. Enjoyed the hell out of it.
We're gonna try to do a lot more crossovers. Look for Ian and Bobo do some stuff for Halloween. Bobo's got a lot of good stuff for. He just gave you your blessing 9 average. Yo, Bobo's got a lot of good stuff on his channel for Halloween. Bobo is a horror maniac, and he's got a lot of good stuff popping up on his channel for Halloween. We're gonna try to up the Halloween content as well, because we have another horror maestro here in E. Cleasy. Yeah. Both those guys together they've got some deep cuts in the horror movies.
Yeah, we're going to try to do some stuff, maybe come up with a top 5 or something. But that'll definitely be happening before October's over with.
For sure. And look for us to start increasing some stuff on this channel. I got some videos that will be coming up that I'm going to be editing as soon as we get out of here. And so we're going to be upping the content on this channel as well. We only got one more week of House of Dragons left. We will, of course, give you a live show next Monday. And then we'll start popping up with a more complete and set in stone schedule for our viewers after that. And hopefully we'll have another show to kind of pick up after where this leaves off, because I'm going to miss this show when it's gone, guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, always.
Same thing with the boys and Stranger Things. It was like, oh.
Yeah. You can't get E into the boys. So.
And think about this. Think about the original Game of Thrones, all the live streamers at that time, especially the last 2 or 3 seasons. What that was like, I bet you that was just live stream heaven.
So, hey, we want to thank those of you that joined us. In the future, hopefully more of you join us. And in order to do that, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button. And then to make sure you know what videos are coming out, you hit that bell up top to be notified of future videos. Of course, comment below. Even if you watch it afterwards, we'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you join us for the stream, comment so we can hear from you as well. But until next time, peace. Who's the master?
Sure.